guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today let's review Season 11 of Classic Doctor Who, the final Jon Pertwee season. And it's a good one. I like Season 11. I feel like it's a little underrated. We do get some new dynamics going on. Of course, with Jo gone, we have a new companion with Elizabeth Sladen coming in as Sarah Jane Smith, my favorite companion of all time. And I actually like the dynamic between 3 and Sarah, because most of the time I think we think of 4 with Sarah, but 3 and Sarah are really good together. Jon Pertwee and Elizabeth Sladen also have good chemistry. Also, I feel like Elizabeth Sladen is written so well this season, especially in stuff like The Time Warrior, The Invasion of the Dinosaurs, and Monsters of Peladon. One of the reasons I really like Monsters of Peladon is how well Sarah's written. Her big individuality streak, you very much get that she's a journalist. She's written better in Season 11 than I feel she sometimes is in later seasons in Classic Who, where she's really given a lot of character and a lot of individuality, which I really, really like about this. There is kind of a sense of things changing, things ending, of the series getting ready to go another direction. The Doctor, of course, is free to move about now, and we do have a nice variety of stories in that, including Pertwee's only historical. And then we have some nice little epic adventures as well. Of course, sadly, Roger has passed away by this time, so we don't get the Master, as of course the original finale was supposed to feature him. And you get this sense of things changing with Barry and Terrence getting ready to leave the show as well. It's understandable why John, with so much changing, it's understandable why John decided to leave. Also, he didn't want to get typecast in the role. But we got an incredible series of stories here. I very much like this season. And again, the variety of stories we have. We start off with what I think is the best story of the season, The Time Warrior, which not only is the introduction to Sarah Jane Smith, but is the introduction to the Sontarans, who of course have become a recurring theme in classic and modern Who. Modern Who hasn't always gotten them right. But they are built up as a very big threat in Classic Who, to the point where they even invade Gallifrey once. And so I like them here. The guy who plays these links here, I think he's also the guy who played the Sontaran in Sontaran Experiment. He's probably my favorite actor to ever play a Sontaran. He just gets the role so well. I also like the human villain, Groth, whatever his name is. The bad guy who's ruling over that one castle. I like him a lot in this. He's really good. They make 2 good antagonists in this. I like that Sarah Jane doesn't trust the Doctor. That she actually thinks the Doctor's in on it and actually lays a trap to capture him. I like that. I love a lot of the location work that's done here. Looks really, really good. I love the fact the Doctor gets to do some nice, karate moves in this. Plus, I just love his green jacket he wears in this. I enjoyed the story itself. I like the one professor with the glasses who gets sent to the past without his glasses and is having to use I like the guy playing him a lot. I like the weakness of the Sontarans with the vent on the neck. I still don't know if that quite makes sense, but I like it. And the guy with the arrow getting him. I like everything that's going on in this story. The dialogue is really good. It's Bob Holmes. Of course, the dialogue is good. It's just a really strong first outing for the season, first outing for Sarah, first outing for the Sontarans, and Jon Pertwee, of course, is great in it. Then we have Invasion of the Dinosaurs, which is a great story that really needs some updated effects. The effects, in defense of the effects, not all of the dinosaur effects are bad. I mean, none of them are stellar, of course. Some of them are okay. Some of them are bad. Mostly the ones with the T-Rex are bad. That T-Rex that doesn't look like a T-Rex. Those are pretty bad, notoriously bad. But if you can overlook the bad, even by Classic Who standards, effects, the story is really good for the most part. I find the stuff with the spaceship drags and the fact that many people believed that they were on a spaceship, I find that part a little hard to believe. And the fact they think they can convince Sarah she's been there for that long when she has the little cut right here, although maybe her hair was hiding it, I don't know. I find a lot of the spaceship stuff a stretch, although it's great seeing Carmen back in Doctor Who. I know she was also in The Celestial Toymaker. And of course, she's famous for playing on Hello, Hello, and I love Hello, Hello. Oh Lord, when she sings in Hello Hello. But I like her as an actress, so it's great to see her back. I do enjoy the rest of the story, though. I like how, of course, it's another situation where the bad guys don't see themselves as the bad guys. They think they're the good guys. They think they're doing this for the better good, that the world has become polluted and toxic and bad and corrupt, and they need to take it back to a more golden age so they can start again. It's like, yes, what they're doing is bad, but I can at least see where the warped logic is coming from, especially in this day and age, if that makes sense. It's not that they're bad people. They just... the road to hell is paved with good intentions, as they say. What's going on with Mike Yates in this story, especially with Mike being such an established character, is surprising, but you still see the caring in him because he refuses to hurt the Doctor, even going out of his way to save the Doctor. Even though, like I said, it's interesting to see what's done with Mike in this story, although it kind of ties in with him being brainwashed in Green Death and maybe him still not having his head on straight from the events of that, showing just how bad the events from the Green Death might have affected him permanently, or at least longer, making him more susceptible to what was going on in this story. I like the guest cast in this story, although every time you turn around, it's like, oh, someone else is betraying us. You got the general guy, the bureaucracy guy. It's like everyone's on the other side. You also have Peter Miles back. I love when Peter Miles shows up in Doctor Who, whether he's playing Niter, whether he's playing in Silurians or here. I always love his performance. He's a great actor in Doctor Who, so it's good to see him back. And I love some of the camaraderie already between the Third Doctor and Sarah Jane. They have a lot of really amusing moments. Like when they're having their pictures taken and the Doctor just smiles. I love that smile he gives when he's having his mugshot taken. And when Benton is told to hold the Doctor captive and he's like, well, I guess you better knock me out right here. I love that. It goes to show how UNIT in the later seasons feels more like a family than a military organization, which, to be fair, is an honest depiction. But, season 7 is very much a military organization, whereas the later seasons, it's done more like a family. And you get that here with Benton, and I love Benton. I love Benton. I think everybody loves Benton. I've never heard anybody talk bad about Benton. He's just like, well, I guess you better knock me out and get on with it, Doc. And the Doc's just like, good man, Sergeant. And the fact that the Brigadier goes out of his way to defend the Doctor. Even the Brigadier gets suspicious with, the people above him in command. And he knows something suspicious is going on. And he trusts the Doctor. I like that here. There's a lot of good stuff going on here. Then we have Death to the Daleks. Very underrated story. Kind of the middle story for me in the Pertwee era. Because I like Day better than it. But I like Planet a lot less than it. So it's kind of the middle of the road Dalek story. I like it. Some of the stuff in the city kind of drags for me, especially the cliffhanger with the, is it the one that has the cliffhanger with that? I sometimes get City of Death and, not City of Death. I sometimes get a couple stories mixed up. Colony in Space, because it's also inside a city. No, this is the one with the cliffhanger floor ending that's just kind of, and the maze that people die because they can't get through, when it's just like, eventually I'd get through it unless it kills you if you make one wrong turn or something. But I could figure out the maze puzzle pretty easy, I think. But I enjoy it. Also, some of the Dalek voices aren't doing a lot for me. I know it's Michael Wisher, but the Dalek voices are they're okay. They're much better than the original Day of the Dalek voices, but they're still a little not quite there for me. I love their alternate route of fire, though. The machine guns. I like the guest cast with the humans. I've talked about Death to the Daleks a lot. Most of you know I enjoy it. It is a really solid Dalek story. And I love the fact that the Daleks have a little model TARDIS to target practice on. That's just adorably funny. And then you have the Monster of Peladon, which is not quite as good as Curse of Peladon, and I still feel like Monster of Peladon should have been 4 parts instead of 6. Also, the Miner's Hair. I don't know what was going on with that. But it's good. I enjoy it. Again, I like the way Sarah Jane is characterized in it. I like the fact that the Doctor actually gets to lose a fight in it. which, you know, this is fighting Doctor. To see him kind of lose a fight, that's something. I enjoy what's going on in it. It's just not quite as good as Curse, but close to being good as Curse. And I like the actress playing the Queen in it. She's really good. So, Planet of the Spiders. I feel like Pertwee deserved a better send-off. It's not bad. Again, Pertwee has no bad stories. All of his stories are some level of good. And I enjoy Planet of the Spiders well enough. It's not even bad necessarily for a season finale, but for a regeneration story, I wish it had been a little more. Now, some of the stuff I really like. One, I like that Yates gets a bit of a redemption arc here. I do like that for the character. Since he's been around since the beginning of Season 8, I like that he gets that. The guy playing the guy who's a little slower, let us say, the actor playing him does a really good job. I think the guest cast in this is fine. Some of the spiders, the effects are a little naff, let's be honest, but it is what it is. They're not, I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. They're a little naff. I would love for this story to get some updated effects. I would. Some of the CSO at the end when the Doctor's facing off against the Great One, and then maybe the Great One itself. Well, again, I think it's fine, the Great One. Some of the CSO there, the stuff with the Great One, you could do a little more with and really, truly make that epic. Imagine if the modern series did it and really make that scene epic. I love the extended chase. I know some people might feel like it goes on too long, but I love it. It's perfect for Pertwee. It's a nice love letter as a send-off for Pertwee to have one final chase over land, sea, and air. It's like they put that in there just for John. And I love that. I love that they did that, it seems like, just for him. So I enjoy it because of that. It goes on a little long, perhaps, but I love every second of it. It's fun. And how the spiders became more advanced and can possess people. That's pretty neat. That's actually pretty cool. Wow. Does anyone else ever noticed how much is in common between Snake Dance and Planet of the Spiders? You can literally describe these two episodes and it's like the same description. Ooh, my sinuses are bothering me. But I found this one fun. I like the regeneration at the end. The actual effects a bit naffed, and I wish they'd done a little more with it. But the lead up to it is really good. Elizabeth's putting in a good performance. John's putting in a good performance. I think Courtney's putting in a good performance. I enjoy Planet of the Spiders. It's a little letdown as a regeneration story, but it's good enough. I like it. It's fair. So yeah, I like the season as a whole. Also, much like Season 10, this season is mostly intact with original masters. Episode 1 of the Planet of the Daleks is not technically the original master. Not Planet of the Daleks. Death to the Daleks is not technically the original master, but it is a 625-line master or PLA videotape, so it's close enough to, I don't think anybody notices. We can just count it as a master and be fine. And of course, the big fly in the ointment is episode 1 of Dinos. Invasion of the Dinosaurs episode 1 is the one story from the Pertwee era that we still haven't really gotten back in color. The DVD attempted it. It did not come across the best in the world. I actually prefer to watch the DVD with episode 1 in black and white. It just looks better. So that is kind of the thing that needs to be taken care of. And I'm sure they're doing restoration work on that as well. It's just kind of frustrating that the one episode that the Pertwee era has the most trouble fixing is the one episode in Season 11 that needs it. Because if it wasn't for that, we probably would have had Season 11 by now. I always figured the reason we got Season 10 first is because it only needed Planet of the Daleks done. Because most of Season 10 and Season 11 are the original studio masters, which is why Season 10 and Season 11 look so good. So we really just need the restoration work done to really restore the colored episode 1 of Dinos. Will be good there. And hopefully there's enough in the budget for some updated effects for Invasion of the Dinosaurs. I definitely feel like it needs it. And if for some reason they can do updated effects for 2 stories, give me some updated effects for Planet of the Spiders. Please, 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 please. That would make my millennium. So I want to know what you think of Season 11 of Doctor Who. Comment down below. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. I want to give a shout out to Colin Coney, one of my top tier patrons. I appreciate his support, as I do the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box down there if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. Links to the Amazon wish list are down there. Links to the Amazon UK wish list are down there. all that fun stuff as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching.